In a world filled with anxiety and fear, imagine discovering ancient wisdom that has guided people for centuries in overcoming those very struggles. Today, we'll explore the teachings of Epictetus, a former slave who rose to become one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. His journey and the timeless lessons of Stoicism can transform how you face fear and build resilience. Stay with me as we uncover 5 powerful lessons from Epictetus that can free you from irrational fears and lead you toward inner peace. If you value this message, please subscribe and watch till the end. You won't want to miss how these ancient truths can change your modern life. Number 1. Make sense of fear. Fear is something we all experience, and it can often feel overwhelming and paralyzing. But what if I told you that many of our fears are actually based on irrational thoughts and misconceptions? Epictetus believed that philosophy's main task is to respond to the soul's cry and to help us make sense of and free ourselves from our griefs and fears. This means that when we take a closer look at our fears, we often find that they don't have a solid basis in reality. Epictetus taught that if we analyze each one of our fears, we'll see that there's often no real basis for many of them. For example, think about the fear of losing your job. On the surface, this fear might seem straightforward. No one wants to be unemployed. But when you dig deeper, you realize that the real fear might be about how others will perceive you if you lose your job. It's not just about being jobless. It's about the fear of social disgrace, of being labeled a failure. This is what Epictetus meant when he emphasized rationalizing our fears. By understanding that our fear of losing a job is tied to a deeper fear of social judgment, we can begin to dismantle it. Epictetus also pointed out that many of our fears are linked to our attachments to external things. The Stoics believed that we should focus only on what is within our control and remain detached from what is not. For example, we might fear not owning a car because we believe it's essential to our identity and lifestyle. But when we step back and look at it rationally, we realize that a car is just a means of transportation. There are many other ways to get around, such as public transport or taxis. By detaching ourselves from the idea that owning a car is a necessity, we can reduce our fear. This concept of distinguishing between what is necessary and what is not is crucial. Epictetus teaches us to discern between our true necessities and mere desires. A businessman might think he can't live without a driver, or a family might feel they can't manage without a nanny. These are desires, not necessities. By recognizing this, we can let go of irrational fears related to losing these luxuries. In today's world, we are surrounded by excessive possessions and consumerism, which only fuels our anxieties and fears. We fear not having the latest gadgets, the trendiest clothes, or the most comfortable lifestyle. Epictetus would urge us to reconsider these fears and see them for what they truly are: irrational attachments to things that do not define our worth or happiness. The Stoics believed that rational fears are those that concern our survival, like the fear of not having access to clean water or food. These fears are valid and have been shared by humans throughout history. But many modern fears, like the fear of not having the latest smartphone, are irrational. By filtering out these irrational fears and focusing only on what truly matters, we can achieve a sense of peace and control. Epictetus also suggested that one way to overcome fear is by studying philosophy. Philosophy helps us see life as it truly is, empowering our minds to discern between what deserves our attention and what we should let go of. It prepares us to recognize whether our fears are rational or irrational. For example, some people conquer their fear of heights by climbing mountains, not because they want to scare themselves, but to face their fear head-on and see it for what it really is. Always remember, if fear was an ocean, you are a human being who can get out of the ocean, not a fish who swims endlessly in it. by making sense of your fears, rationalizing them, and distinguishing between what you can and cannot control. You can begin to free yourself from the grip of irrational fears and live a more peaceful, fulfilling life. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy, and it's a powerful tool for overcoming the fears that hold us back. Number 2, embrace life's trials. Life is full of ups and downs, surprises and setbacks, and it's easy to get overwhelmed by the challenges we face. But according to Epictetus, we must not fear poverty, exile, imprisonment, or even fear itself. Instead, we should focus only on what we can control and not give any emotional attachment to external events. One of the fundamental principles of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. This means understanding that some things are within our control, like our actions and responses, while others are not, like the actions of others or unforeseen events. By focusing on what we can control, we free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety and distress. Epictetus taught that most of the things we fear today are completely out of our control. For instance, if we lose our job because of an economic downturn, that's beyond our control. What we can control is how we respond to that situation, whether we choose to despair or to look for new opportunities. Epictetus himself faced many trials. The Roman Emperor Domitian, irritated by the Stoics' influence, exiled Epictetus along with other philosophers. Instead of lamenting his fate, Epictetus accepted it. He moved to another city and continued his teachings with even more conviction. This is a perfect example of embracing life's trials. He didn't let external events dictate his emotional state or his purpose. He understood that the decision to exile him was out of his control, but how he responded was entirely within his power. Life's unpredictability is something we all have to deal with. The common expression, "life is full of surprises," highlights this reality. These surprises can be both good and bad, and we can't always prepare for them. So what do we do? Should we live in constant fear and anxiety? Absolutely not. Epictetus teaches us that we should empower ourselves to embrace or at least accept the things we wish hadn't happened. This acceptance can trigger greatness within us. In Stoic philosophy, there is a concept called Amor Fati, which means love of fate. It encourages us to accept all of life's events, both good and bad, and to embrace them as part of our journey. Let's say you've been working tirelessly on a project that you believe has great potential, but when you finally launch it, it doesn't get the reception you hoped for. Despite your efforts, the project doesn't succeed. According to Epictetus, you should not consider yourself a failure. Instead, you should view it as a learning experience. Many great entrepreneurs failed multiple times before finding success. They kept going because they embraced their trials, learning and growing from each one. When we encounter unfortunate events that do not fall under our control, we have two choices. We can meet them with indifference, accepting them as part of life, or we can use them to our advantage and act accordingly. Only by doing this can we truly find ourselves reaching greatness. This mindset is about resilience and the understanding that every setback is an opportunity for growth. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This attitude embodies the Stoic principle of embracing life's trials. Edison didn't see his numerous attempts as failures, but as necessary steps toward his ultimate success. This resilience and determination to embrace challenges can lead us to achieve great things. In our daily lives, embracing life's trials might mean facing a difficult situation at work, dealing with personal loss, or navigating through a tough phase in a relationship. Instead of letting these challenges break us, we can choose to see them as opportunities to strengthen our character and grow. By focusing on what we can control, our reactions, our efforts, our mindset, we can transform adversity into a powerful tool for personal development. Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from within, and by embracing life's trials, we build that inner strength. It's about developing a mindset that looks at challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as stepping stones on our journey. This shift in perspective can change how we live our lives, helping us to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity. Number 3, believe in your ability to do wonders. Epictetus teaches us that unremarkable lives are marked by the fear of not looking capable when trying something new. This means that many people hold themselves back not because they lack ability, but because they fear failure and judgment. Consider Epictetus's own life. Born into slavery, the odds of him becoming one of history's greatest philosophers were incredibly slim. But Epictetus didn't let his status define him. His master gave him the chance to study philosophy, and Epictetus seized this opportunity with both hands. He didn't aim to become the greatest philosopher. He simply pursued knowledge with dedication and passion. His belief in his ability to learn and grow, even in the face of immense hardships, is a testament to the power of self-belief. Epictetus's story shows us that our circumstances do not determine our potential. What matters is our mindset and our willingness to push beyond our limitations. This is a key principle in Stoicism, focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and beliefs, rather than what we cannot. Epictetus faced countless challenges, yet he persevered and ultimately became a revered teacher. His life is a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to achieve great things, no matter where we start. Believing in your ability to do wonders is about recognizing that your true power lies within you. It's easy to get discouraged by external circumstances or to feel overshadowed by others' achievements. But Stoicism teaches us to look inward and to measure success by our own standards. It's not about being the best in the world, it's about being the best version of yourself. Imagine starting a new project or venture. It could be anything, a new business, a creative endeavor, or even a personal goal like running a marathon. Initially, you might feel overwhelmed and doubt your capabilities, but by adopting a Stoic mindset, you can shift your focus from the fear of failure to the potential for growth. Every setback becomes a learning opportunity, and every small victory, a step towards achieving something greater. It's about embracing the process and trusting in your ability to navigate the journey, no matter how difficult it might seem. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of resilience. Life is unpredictable, and we will inevitably face failures and setbacks. But these moments do not define us. What defines us is our response to them. Epictetus faced physical ailments and societal limitations, yet he did not let these define his worth or potential. Instead, he used them as fuel for his philosophical inquiries, turning adversity into a source of strength. This resilience is something we can all cultivate. By believing in our ability to rise above challenges, we can transform our lives and achieve wonders. Let's take a real-world example. Think about the entrepreneurs who start businesses in their garages and turn them into global empires. They face countless rejections and failures along the way. But what sets them apart is their unwavering belief in their vision and their ability to make it a reality. They don't let setbacks discourage them. Instead, they see them as necessary steps on the path to success. This belief in oneself is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a key to achieving greatness. In your personal life, this could mean pursuing a passion that others might not understand or believe in. It's about taking risks, stepping out of your comfort zone, and trusting that you have what it takes to succeed. Whether it's learning a new skill, starting a new hobby, or making a significant life change. Believing in your ability to do wonders can open up a world of possibilities. Believing in your ability to do wonders is about cultivating a mindset of growth and resilience. It's about understanding that your true potential is not determined by external factors, but by your inner strength and determination. This belief is not just about achieving external success, but about becoming the best version of yourself, living a life of purpose and fulfillment. As Epictetus teaches us, the journey of self-belief and self-discovery is where true greatness lies. Embrace this lesson, and you'll find that you are capable of achieving wonders beyond your imagination. Number 4, don't fear other people's judgment. We live in a world where social media, peer pressure, and societal expectations can make us overly concerned with what others think of us. Epictetus offers a powerful antidote to this. Focus on your own integrity and let go of the need for external validation. Epictetus famously said, "If you are tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your own integrity. If you need a witness, be your own." This is a profound reminder that seeking approval from others can lead us away from our true selves. When we constantly look for validation from others, we become prisoners of their opinions and lose touch with our own values and goals. Stoicism teaches us to find strength within ourselves and to trust our own judgment. In Epictetus's time, there was a group of people called the Sophists. These were intellectuals who prided themselves on their debating skills and rhetoric, often seeking approval and admiration from others. They debated not to gain new insights, but to showcase their intelligence and win applause. In contrast, a Stoic intellectual pursues knowledge and wisdom for its own sake, not for the recognition of others. Epictetus wants us to adopt this Stoic approach, to seek truth and personal growth rather than external approval. Fear of judgment can be paralyzing. It can stop us from pursuing our dreams, speaking our minds, and living authentically. We might avoid taking risks or trying new things because we worry about how others will perceive us. But Epictetus reminds us that other people's opinions are outside our control. What we can control is our own actions and attitudes. By focusing on what we can control, we can free ourselves from the burden of others' judgments. Think about it. If we let the fear of judgment dictate our actions, we are essentially giving away our power. We become like actors in a play, constantly changing our behavior to fit the expectations of different audiences. But life is not a performance. Stoicism teaches us to live authentically, guided by our own principles and values. This means having the courage to be ourselves, even if it means going against the grain. Consider the example of great innovators and leaders throughout history. People like Socrates, Galileo, and Martin Luther King Jr. faced immense criticism and judgment for their ideas and actions. Yet they remained true to their convictions and changed the world. They understood that other people's judgments were not within their control, and that compromising their integrity for approval would have been a far greater loss. By staying true to themselves, they left a lasting legacy. In our own lives, this might mean standing up for what we believe in, even if it's unpopular. It could mean pursuing a career path that others don't understand or support. It could mean expressing our true selves, even if it goes against societal norms. By not fearing other people's judgment, we allow ourselves the freedom to explore, grow, and live authentically. Epictetus also teaches us that seeking approval can hinder our personal growth. When we are obsessed with what others think, we might avoid stepping out of our comfort zones for fear of failure or criticism. But growth often comes from taking risks and making mistakes. If we let fear of judgment hold us back, we miss out on opportunities to learn and evolve. Stoicism encourages us to embrace challenges and view them as opportunities for growth, regardless of what others might say. Another important aspect of this lesson is self-compassion. It's natural to care about what others think, but Stoicism encourages us to be kind to ourselves and not let external opinions define our self-worth. We should strive to be our own best witness, to recognize our own efforts and achievements, and to be proud of who we are. This inner confidence and self-acceptance are at heart of Stoic philosophy. Finally, it's important to remember that everyone faces judgment and criticism at some point. It's a part of life, but how we respond to it is what matters. Epictetus teaches us to respond with indifference, to focus on our own path, and to not let external opinions sway us from our true course. By adopting this Stoic mindset, we can navigate life with more confidence and resilience, staying true to ourselves no matter what others think. Number 5. Get rid of the fear of death. Death is a topic that many people avoid discussing, yet it's an inevitable part of life. Epictetus believed that we should confront this fear head-on, and by doing so, we can live more freely and fully. Epictetus said, "I cannot escape death, but at least I can escape the fear of it." This statement captures the essence of Stoic wisdom. Death is beyond our control. It is a natural part of the human experience. What we can control is our perception of death and how it influences our lives. By changing our mindset, we can reduce the fear and anxiety associated with it. Epictetus faced the reality of death regularly, not just because he was born into slavery, but also because he suffered from debilitating health issues. For him, accepting the inevitability of death was a way to find peace and focus on living a meaningful life. He understood that fearing death would only detract from the time and energy he had to live well. Stoicism teaches us that everything happens in our minds. If we can learn to see death differently, we can free ourselves from many concerns. The key is to shift our perception. Instead of viewing death as a dreadful end, we can see it as a natural event, a part of the cycle of life. This perspective can help us live more fully, appreciating each moment without the shadow of fear hanging over us. One practical way to embrace this Stoic approach is by practicing memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning, "Remember that you have to die." This isn't meant to be morbid. Rather, it's a reminder to live each day with purpose and presence. By keeping the reality of death in mind, we are prompted to make the most of our time. Imagine waking up each morning and asking yourself, "If today were my last day, what would I do?" This daily reflection can inspire us to prioritize what truly matters and to live with intention. Epictetus also suggested that discussing death openly can help us come to terms with it. In many cultures, death is a taboo subject, only talked about in moments of grief and loss. However, by normalizing these conversations, we can alleviate some of the fear and uncertainty. Talking about death as we would any other life event helps us see it in a different light. It becomes less of an abstract, terrifying concept and more of an accepted part of our existence. Stoics like Epictetus believe that thinking about death can actually enhance our appreciation of life. It reminds us that our time is limited, so we should use it wisely. This perspective encourages us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our attitudes, our legacy. It helps us to let go of trivial worries and to invest our energy in what is truly meaningful. Facing the fear of death also involves accepting the unpredictability of life. We cannot know when or how our lives will end, but we can choose to live each day fully. This acceptance can be incredibly liberating. Instead of being paralyzed by the fear of the unknown, we become empowered to take action, to pursue our goals, and to connect deeply with others. Another aspect of overcoming the fear of death is recognizing that it is a universal experience. Every human being, no matter their status, wealth or power, will face death. This commonality can bring a sense of solidarity and humility. It reminds us that we are part of something larger, a continuous cycle of life and death that has been going on for millennia. In practical terms, letting go of the fear of death can improve our daily lives. It can reduce anxiety and stress, allowing us to focus more on the present moment. It can help us build deeper relationships as we become more aware of the preciousness of time with loved ones. It can motivate us to pursue our passions and make meaningful contributions, knowing that our legacy will live on even after we are gone. Epictetus's wisdom teaches us that by confronting our fear of death, we can lead richer, more fulfilling lives. We can find peace in the acceptance of life's impermanence and use that awareness to fuel our actions and decisions. This Stoic approach offers a path to inner freedom and resilience, helping us navigate the inevitable challenges of life with grace and courage. As we embrace the wisdom of Epictetus and the timeless principles of Stoicism, remember that true freedom lies within our own minds. By overcoming our fears and living with purpose, we can lead lives of resilience, peace, and fulfillment.